Hi, this is Matt with State of Flux here with a twofer review of Dune and Ron's Gone Wrong. We're going to start up first with Dune. This was a movie that I was really excited for, but I guess cautiously optimistic was the better term. Dune is a book that I read in high school and really quite liked. However, as I was reading it, I was like, this is an unfilmable book. I'd seen the David Lynch movie years prior, and, well, that was a cult classic for some reason. It had zero effect on me. I found it painfully boring, with all of its many monologues about spice, spoken in, like, just incredibly dramatic undertones. Then I saw shortly after reading it in high school, I saw the sci-fi original miniseries, which I thought was a better adaptation, and I thought that was the closest we were going to get. The thing that excited me about this when it was announced was that it was going to be directed by Denis Villeneuve. Who is a fabulous filmmaker. And I was like, you know what, if any one person can turn me around on Dune the movie, it's going to be him. I had heavy doubts on Blade Runner 2049. I was not a fan of the original Blade Runner. I think that movie is atrocious outside of its visual aesthetic. There's nothing redeemable about that movie. I thought Blade Runner 2049 was one of the best movies of 2017. It was fantastic. I wrote off Arrival. When I saw the trailers, I was like, this looks super meh. Once it got nominated for its Best Picture, I was like, let me give it a shot. It wowed me, absolutely wowed me. I was a big fan of Prisoners, Sicario. This is a really strong filmmaker. So I was like, maybe he can do Dune justice. And I'm happy to say that he did, with an asterisk. He did the Peter Jackson route of adaptation. He took this one rather dense book and he split it up. Now I know Peter Jackson with Lord of the Rings adapted each one and whatnot, but Villeneuve here sort of did the Hobbit of it, where you took one book and you're breaking it into parts, absolutely a smart move. However, that does kind of hurt this movie a little bit because it feels distinctly incomplete. The concern would be that they don't get a second one, or if we do get a second one, which it now has officially been greenlit, that they're not going to put this same budget. And from his talks of what the second movie is going to be, we're going to require a bigger sum to make this movie. Concern is that they're not going to give the proper budget for the second one. But in terms of this movie, I thought they did a really good job. The movie stars Edward Scissorhands, Timothy Chalamet, who gives a pretty solid performance. He didn't wow me as like a main character probably should, but he is an actor that can kind of convey a lot of emotion wordlessly, and I think that is required of his character. Rebecca Ferguson as well is really strong in the film. The standout for me, Oscar Isaac always is Oscar Isaac, and he's always amazing. Same thing with Stellan Skarsgård. He's always fantastic, completely unrecognizable in this film. I had no idea it was him until I hit the credits. Was Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa really wowed me. He's never really impressed me before. He's a likable actor in previous things that I've seen, but I've never really felt much of a performance or felt for any character he's ever really played before. He was the standout for me in this one. He impressed me most. I really liked him. This movie's cast just in general is spectacular. A lot of actors are criminally underused. However, there is a second part coming. My biggest issue with Dune, besides it being just part of a story, and having no resolution or an incomplete feeling. My biggest problem with the movie is the special effects are amazing across the board, with the sole exception of the sandworm. And if you think of Dune, you think of the sandworm. Here, it just looked like under-rendered or something. It didn't sell anything, any form of reality for that to me. In fact, I thought that the sandworms in previous adaptations looked on par with how this one is presented. There is one epic shot where the sandworm comes up and looks down at the characters, and it's just this giant eye that's like looking down at them. But it's also inescapably like a giant sphincter that looks ready to poo on them. So I guess that's my problem with Dune, and the fact that sound, atmospheric sound and music is so overwhelming you can't hear or understand what the F anybody is saying, because everybody talks kind of like real people talk, very quietly, very intimately. It's really hard to understand the movie, and this is one of the probably biggest benefits of it being on HBO Max. I'm a big proponent of don't see these movies on HBO Max, don't give them the time of day, see these movies in the theater the way that the filmmakers intended them to be seen. None of these movies were made with the intent of going to streaming first. They were all made with the intent that COVID isn't a thing and that this movie is going to get a full release. COVID happened, reality changed, and these movies got dumped on a streaming platform. However, with this movie, subtitles are definitely a benefit. So if you're going to see it in the theater, I suggest trying to find a theater that has the open caption option. Marcus Theaters, AMC are doing open caption options for titles in their opening weeks. Try to seek out an open caption version of Dune. Otherwise, it is worth seeing on HBO Max just so you can understand what's going on, because the story is so dense and what's happening is very politically based and stuff like that, at least within the confines of the story. So it really helps to understand every single word that is spoken, especially when they're interchanging languages, sometimes in the middle of a sentence. So yeah, those are my only complaints. Otherwise, this is an extremely strong film that I hope has a tremendous resolution. The action in this film is great, visually stunning. This movie is going to get nominations for special effects, for production design, cinematography, all that stuff, and all of them are going to be earned nominations. And I'm just going to say, it's really hard to make a beige film feel visually interesting. And this film has a color palette of basically beige and gray, and somehow they present something that is so eye-popping that you are invested in it visually the whole time. This is an excellent visual film. So I give strong recommendation to Dune. I give it a very hearty 3 stars. See Dune, see it as soon as you can. Support movies like this. We need more of them. This movie has a lot of high concepts and doesn't feel like the filmmakers are trying to dumb it down at all. It's expecting the audience to take the journey with them, and if you expect the audience of that, audiences will rise above. So you don't need to release Venoms out there that just panders to the lowest common IQ. So yeah, see Dune, see it. Support these kind of films. Cerebral filmmaking. Up next, I'm going to do a review for Ron's Gone Wrong. This is the children's film by way of Disney Fox, and it surprised me. It's quite good. Very good, in fact. The thing that kind of bothered me a little bit when I started watching it is about 30 minutes into the film, I'm like, so this just feels like robot version of Free Guy, which Fox, by way of Disney, also put out just like 3 months ago. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm willing to take this journey. I feel like I've seen it, just now it's animated. but then the movie switches gears, and it actually has a lot of really interesting things to say about technology. Why technology was created versus how it is used. How technology is like commercialized, and how we become a commodity to it. And that stuff was all interesting. But the best aspect of Ron's Gone Wrong is not its humor, although it is a funny film. Kids should engage with the humor of it. Is that it doesn't pander to a children's audience. I think like most Disney films or animated films in general don't offer any kind of weight or of sacrifice. They want, almost every movie wants the big sacrifice moment where you feel something, and they tend to buy back. I think WALL-E is an excellent example of this. WALL-E would be a perfect film if they don't have the buyback of WALL-E coming back to life at the end. Yeah, I got happy that WALL-E comes back, but it also kind of like cheapens the experience. If you're going to give me a dramatic moment, let it stick. So yeah, I appreciated that this film had moments in it that allowed the drama to overtake the story in a way that we haven't really seen since, like, I guess you could say, like, the original Lion King, or, like, E.T. It felt very E.T.-like to me, and I really liked that about this film. It expects more, or it thinks children more capable than most other movies of its ilk. And I appreciate that. I think we should get more movies like that. So Ron's Gone Wrong gets a firm 3 stars from me. It's a much more thought-heavy movie than I was expecting it to be, especially for children, that caters well to a child's eye, and there's strong lessons to be learned within it. So check out Ron's Gone Wrong. It's a solid one. Check out Dune. Super solid one. And thanks for watching. Drop a comment down below on what you thought of either of these films if you saw them. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, subscribe, ding the bell, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.